This is like a good photo. No, I don't. Mainly because I don't think I have a good speaking voice. I've been thinking about it, weird or not. I guess, wondering what I should make my first video on. If I do make like these tutorial videos, I've thought about like taking my pictures and like talking about breaking down like how I make them. But only done like one or two. That's because shit. That's because and like when I try to do those, they don't come out as well. Mainly because when I make those videos, they're usually on pictures that um that I didn't really plan out well. That makes sense. So yeah, I might make some. I might do one with one of the pictures I've done. Actually, maybe I'll do one live right now. I'll take one of my pictures and guess if if that's what y'all want, I could do one live right now. I'll talk about one of the pictures I've done. Hold on, let me do this real quick. Yeah, I'm sure I would. Uh, actually, let's see if I could do one right now. Uh, so, I guess I could do this Dante one. So this is a picture I've done. I did. Oh, I finished this sometime early this week, or my mouth, or last week, late last week. This is when I finished it. So, if you don't know, this is of Dante from Devil May Cry, one of my favorite game series, and what the idea behind this was to make like sort of like a recreation from that scene from DMC3 where Dante was like using his bike, the bike, lady's bike, to like, you know, kill demons with, and like there was like an explosion in the background. Let's see if I can find it real quick. C3 like scene. Where is it? See, I found a picture, but it's not really good. Save image as yeah, man. I mean, it's definitely not hard. I won't like. I don't want to say it's easy because definitely wasn't easy to do. Because a lot of stuff that I'll go into how I did it. There's a lot of stuff that takes time and patience and like a keen eye. But here's a picture of what I was talking about. The image is probably terrible, but it's supposed to be modeled after not exactly like this, but image like it, as you can see. Dante holding his bike like it's like a nunchuck or a weapon. Um, so this, that, get rid of all of these. So whenever I start drawing, I don't really have like a like you know, like with any like artist that like starts like a drawing or painting, they start off with like a sketch. And this is my initial sketch where I basically I just sketched out as got the pose, which is this, have a little lean back, have the like the little bike. This doesn't have to be like um all nice and pretty. Just this sketch was like very loose, just to get the ideal out of my mind a little bit. After that, I did like a much more detailed sketch, as you can see. And then what I did afterwards was I also did like a little shading as well, so I can like figure out where to put the shadows almost. So that's basically the sketch phase right there. And so after that, what I did was, I'm trying to find it. Alright, so after that, what I did was, I did basically, I did like a line art almost, but this looks very sketchy. Well, I basically cleaned up, the sketch I had made. As you can see, it looks a little bit cleaner, much more cleaner, much more defined, like especially in Dante's face, as you can see. Like he looks anime-ish in this sketch, but he looks much more realistic for my taste. Let's get rid of this. After that, what I did was added color to Dante. For Dante himself, I did these on separate layers. So here's Dante's colors, and then like here's his bike, and like this right here is for his the lights on his bike. And I have the layers for the colors, normal. This is fine. And then after that, what I did was did I do this? No, I didn't do this. Actually, yeah, I did do this next. Added the shadows, and here you could probably finish, but I went even further, where like I cleaned up the coloring a bit more.
Prescription products require an online physician consultation and are only
I can see like basically added more detail with color.
Important safety information.
What it do is your boy Big Snoop D-O-double-G, and I got a very special message to the players, to the males.
I don't know what this is for. Is this?
What? You can do something about it with Hims, because they got a one-stop shop for your hair. Thanks to science, baldness can be optional. It's $5. $5 to try it out, man, and it comes right to your crib. Go to forhims.com/forhims.com/magic.
Okay, that makes sense. Okay, let me get rid of these. Alright, so this is the shadow, and like this right here was supposed to like clean up the coloring a little bit. Basically to blend the sketch line art with the colors. And how and what are layers? Okay, so these here are layers. And basically, like, this is one of the best parts about drawing digitally, where like um you can like it's like, how do I describe it? Like if you mess up, like if you have two layers, like one's a sketch, um all right, so this is like the final line art that I have for it, and so that's in one layer, and so the original sketch is this right here, and so basically it helps to not, it's hard to describe, or I don't know how to phrase it. See, I'm terrible at this. Basically it makes it easier for you to organize and draw and organize, or oh, this is bad. I don't know what I'm saying right now. Damn it, I don't know what I'm saying right now. it I guess for me, layers are just, it makes it easier for me to like um put things in a certain group so that way they won't mix with each other. That's a better way of saying it. So like if I don't want to have, I wouldn't, when I do this line art, like I don't want the line art to be with the colors, so I have the colors on a separate layer, like each color with a separate layer. And like if like for these lights right here, I wanted to, I guess, make them lighter at a certain point or brighter, so that's why I have them on a separate layer. If I wanted to change something on Dante only, I have it on a separate layer, so like I'll be able to do that. But if, well, there are ways to like do it with, yeah, hopefully that makes sense. But there are ways to do it if like you're doing it all on one layer. There's a couple artists that can do it, but like those, I would say those people are like top tier artists because they could just do whatever. But yeah, hopefully that made sense. I know it wasn't making sense because I really didn't know what I was saying. But yeah, I cleaned up the I mixed the coloring a little bit. Like even here, I have it on separate layers in case I wanted to change something, like Dante's hair right here, his skin, his jackets I cleaned up a bit, and then his bike I cleaned up a bit too. That way it's not all too sketchy, or like the lines aren't showing as much. Added a little bit light here and there, as you can see. This is the lights I was talking about, making the bike's lights brighter. What's this? Oh, this is like a metal texture that I added from a brush I made. This is like yeah, basically separating everything so that I can edit it and color it easier and whatnot. Yeah, so that's how you describe layers. It's the best thing about doing it digitally, making art digitally. You can just Control Z or do all these layers. I don't know what to call this. This is like, what type of light is this? There's like 3 types of lights. There's key, fill, and rim. And I would say this is the lights. And basically what I did for this is like I color all this blue and then lower the opacity to 31%. And they have the blending mode on overlay to get this effect. And blending mode basically like it can change the way whatever on that layer, how that layer affects everything else. So if I would put this on normal, the blue would show up more. So multiply, it'll show up a little bit less, and then overlay, you can see the blue more. Here's a rim light, which is for the explosion in the background that I'm gonna that I add later. And the reason, usually when I do these the rim light and this key light, I try to have them like complementary colors. So blue's a complement of yellow, so I try to, what I call it, shadowing. Kind of, sorta, because I know some people, they use blue as a shadow, but it's more of like, I don't know, I guess I wouldn't really call it shadowing. I don't know why. It could be, but it could also not be, mainly because like I already have like shadows going on in his. Actually, yeah. I don't know. I don't know what I'm talking about right now. I'm bad at explaining things. Because I can see where you say you could probably call it shadowing, because most of the blue is in the shadow, but it's also kind of lighten up the his face a little bit if I didn't have it. Yeah, like yeah, it's more of a light than a shadow, in my opinion. The explosion I made, I took like an image from Google and then like edited how I wanted it to look. Add a black to the background. And that's basically it for that. I mean, is there any questions about it? Well, I mean, my thoughts on this picture. The one thing I wish I did, I wish it a little bit cleaner. Yeah, I'm terrible at explaining, because usually I just do the drawing. I don't think about it a lot. Don't think about all the technical terms that you see some of these artists explain in these YouTube videos. I just do it. And like whenever people tell me that they want to draw like this, or like they wish they could draw like this, I just tell them just go ahead and do it, because anybody really can draw. It's just, you just need to practice. It's a practicing thing. You just need to just more. Maybe I can pull up another one to get some practice. Bless you. Girlfriend sneeze. So I have 4 more pictures that I could talk about. There's one with the genie picture from Aladdin that I made for Dante. Oh yeah, mainly because it was his from That's the hairstyle he has in the in DMC5. Um, at least I think so. I think it's as close as I could get it. Maybe it's like a little bit curlier. That's the reason why. But I have some more pictures on my computer. You never played DMC? Yeah, man. DMC is a good series. They have there's like plenty of ways you can play it. There's the special edition for DMC4. DMC5 came out. Um, and then they got a collection for like the first 3 games. But yeah, I mean they're all good except for 2 because that really isn't a good DMC game. And like the DMC Ninja Theory game it's alright. It's just not a good Devil May Cry game. Good game, but not a good Devil May Cry game, if that makes sense. So I got 4 other pictures that I'm willing to talk about. One is Genie from the 2019 Aladdin, my King Arthur picture, and the Lancelot picture, and then Nessa from Pokemon. So, which one would you like for me to talk about? King Arthur. Um, I'm trying to think. Oh, I want to talk about King Arthur. I guess I could talk about King Arthur. Okay, so this was originally for a contest on ArtStation where they gave us the task of
to cook at a restaurant when I was looking for jobs on
let
LinkedIn.
me shut this up. Alright, so this is for our contest on ArtStation where I had to basically, recreate Arthurian lore in my way. And so they give us there are things that we needed to complete it within a certain amount of time. And they were obviously make King Arthur as when he was king, Arthur when he was young, Arthur make a scene where he was drawing the sword, uh make a sigil and like banners, and then we're supposed to make like 4 other characters from Arthurian lore. I didn't get really get to finish it because uh I didn't have time, and like other reasons were like I wasn't feeling it. I didn't have the drive to do it. And also another reason why I think I didn't finish it because I didn't really plan it out well. I kind of just did whatever, which I probably should never do. Um, but here's my King Arthur. Um, wait. Well, let me see if I can pull up the sketches that I have from. Here's one of the sketches. What's this? Ooh, God, that's terrible. Okay, so right here you can see. Alright, so here's one of the sketches, and it's the finished sketch. The finished sketch looks way skinnier than this one. He looked pretty bulky, and I don't know what happened. I think that's like one of the things where like I kind of was just drawing to draw, and I wasn't really focused on getting what I wanted. Um, I guess I can talk about. All right, so the color scheme that I gave him. So blue, white, and gold are like his main colors. The skinny version, yeah, yeah, I think it's all right. I sort of like the bulkier version because I wanted him to show like this is like basically like a display of power for him. But, I mean, I suppose it's fine. I kind of just I kind of just didn't care during the end. This is one of the last ones that I made, so it was like I don't care anymore. But at least I got to this point where I got to color him. But so blue, white, and yellow or gold is his main color scheme. So the white and gold basically shows like um supposed to show like royalty and like a connection to Christianity and God and holiness and whatnot. The blues I believe is like Arthur's main colors to represent truth and justice, which I feel like Arthur is, being the one and true king. Um, this band right here, I sort of like these type of crowns. It's just like a band instead of just like the traditional crowns. Um, Plus I also feel like back in the day they didn't have like all that gold to make the traditional crowns, trying the pointy crowns. I originally wanted him blonde, but I felt like that would make him too flashy and like the Arthur that I wanted to draw. I wanted him to be more humbled, and I feel like being blonde wouldn't do that or wouldn't convey that. Um, I think that's it. That's all I have to say. At first glance, so I guess I'm gonna go ahead and start hiding all this stuff so we can talk about it. Alright, so here's the initial sketch. Very loose sketch, as always. Very loose. Just to get the idea of it. And then here's the official line art. I don't really like the lines to this because I feel like they're too pixelated. Um I don't know what it is. I think it's this program. It just looks so weird to me. I don't really like how it looks. That's why lately in some of these drawings I've been doing, I haven't really been doing any real good, any decent line art than usual. Um, what I do next? I gave him some color, but I did this like glass. And how I did this is I basically, cause like this was an afterthought making the lines red. So what I did is I duplicated. It's Command J on Windows, and then hit the wand tool, and then selected the selected the area around it. I think shift and click makes you like add more stuff. I think that's all I need to do. And what I did next is like I colored it red, made another layer, a new layer, colored it red, colored this red, and then clip it, which is this right here. Then I got the red. Uh, You talking about the line art? Yes, I made the line art before I started coloring it. But like this red line, I did this. I made the red line after I did all the red lines was an afterthought because I felt like the it wasn't popping as I liked it to be. Um, and then so after this, what I after I made the line art, like I said, I used the wand and then like I inverted it, just usually in select and then inverse this, and then basically I started coloring it. That's all I did. And also, usually when I make um when I have like line art, I usually make a second one, which I already did here. And so the first line art I did is an overlay, and so when I have it in overlay, it does this where like you see how um basically like where the lines are in this layer, like the lines are affected. Lines affect like the layers underneath it basically. So if I would have it on normal, it just regular lines, but I have it in overlay, so like now the color changes. Um uh, then just have like a second layer. It's usually just a regular black and I have it as normal. Then like I lighten it. I lower the opacity so they can see a little bit of the color, as you can see. Yeah. Um, After I select the colors, I do the shadows, as you can see. And this is where your knowledge in anatomy work helps. Like it's always gonna be light hitting this spot, hitting around this spot, and you just all I really got to say about that. Um, I originally used black for this, and I keep forgetting to use like a different color for it. You see how like it didn't pop, so I just changed it to blue. Um, Here's some more shadows to it. Add it. Like sometimes it's not just one shadow; it's like multiple shadows. A little made some lighting. What is this? I don't know what this is. Bro, this is the rim light I did. You probably won't see it as well right now, mainly probably because of the background. Here's some more little highlights. Um, I think that's it. Yeah, that's it. No. That's King Arthur. Really. Any questions? Guess I could show you some of the sketches I made. So it's like that contest while I'm on it. So this is Arthur, and then this here is Lancelot, which is supposed to be basically the opposite of Arthur, much flashier. Um, I drew. I I drew the armor first. Oh, sure. I guess you could say I drew the armor first. Um, cause like, so like, cause that's what this sketch is for right here, to help guide me a little bit. And then I drew the armor one. That's why I guess I drew the armor one. This is probably why it looked, probably why he looked so skinny. One of Merlin. I actually could say they got a little color scheme going on. It's the final version of Lancelot. In all honesty, I like the sketch versions of these two guys better than the finished versions. They look way better, in my opinion. Right? Let's go ahead and close this.